The following video contains discussion of sexual assault and murder. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This video is intended for educational and awareness purposes only. All information is based on publicly available reports and law enforcement statements.
What happened to Lori Paige? The question echoed across Tallahassee for nearly 2 years. We got an answer in April when police charged her father, Andrew Wiley, with killing her and dumping her body. Then the question became why. Tonight, we have an answer that's very tough to take. The state attorney says Wiley sexually assaulted 12-year-old Lorie. Our Matt Hoffman was the first to speak with Jack Campbell today after Wiley's death in jail last week. Matt?
Hey, you said it, Jacob. The state attorney told us that Andrew Wiley's actions mean the motive for killing Lori Paige was likely sexual assault. The state attorney also revealed for the first time that Andrew Wiley was being treated for an STD at the time of Lori Paige.
In June 2023, 12-year-old Lori Paige vanished without a trace. For nearly 2 years, her disappearance haunted her community. Then in April 2025, her remains were discovered, and a shocking twist emerged. Her own father was arrested for her murder. But the story doesn't end there. In June 2025, that suspect died while in custody. Today, we dig into the case, how Lori Paige went missing, how investigators cracked the case, what the evidence suggests about motive, and what remains unanswered. This is the tragic and disturbing story of the Lori Paige murder. Lori Paige was a 12-year-old student at Griffin Middle School in Tallahassee, Florida. She was last seen in June 2023 in her neighborhood in the Continental Court area. On June 3, 2023, her father, Andrew Wiley, age 36, reported her missing. He claimed she had left home overnight with her backpack while he was at work. Immediately, the case drew attention. The community and law enforcement launched searches, hoping for any sign of Lori's whereabouts. This is every parent's nightmare. Your child disappears and the trail goes cold. But sometimes the mystery deepens.
Straight out of swamp where the pain don't sleep, digging through the truth where the crime runs deep. From the bottom to the top, let the facts all spray. Welcome to the grind, this crime the Eway. The streets don't lie, they scream my name.
Been 252 days since Lori Paige went missing in Tallahassee.
It's time. It is time to go ahead and bring this to a conclusion.
I'm Terry Gilliam in the Northwest Tallahassee neighborhood. Now search efforts continue and neighbors in this community are trying to find answers they've been looking for.
8 months after 12-year-old Lori Paige's disappearance, members in the community are still looking for any clues to find her. Pastor Rudy Ferguson, teachers, and law enforcement came together Saturday morning to go door to door to see if anybody in the community has seen or heard anything new. Paige was last seen in the 2100 block of Continental Court on June 3, 2023. I spoke with Pastor Ferguson during Saturday's search. I asked him why now, after all this time.
We decided that it's important that social media is not enough. Talking to people on the telephones is not enough. We need to get out and actively search for her. We must be the gatekeepers of Tallahassee. We must be the gatekeepers of our community.
I checked with Pastor Ferguson Saturday afternoon. No new developments have surfaced, but this team say they're not giving up.
Pastor Ferguson and others tell me that this is the direction they want to go and hope the mystery is solved to Paige's disappearance. In Northwest Tallahassee, Terry Gilliam, ABC 27.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Julie Montanaro. Tallahassee's police chief announcing within the last hour that they found Lori Paige's remains last week and arrested her father for her murder. The announcement comes nearly 2 years after Lori Paige was last seen. For months, one of her middle school teachers continuing to sound the alarm bells that something wasn't right, and that has turned out to be terribly true. Our Matt Hoffman is live at TPD headquarters right now with more on this afternoon's shocking announcement. Matt.
Yeah, Julie. So just to recap, the Tallahassee police chief announcing the arrest of Lori Paige's father, Andrew Wiley, just within the last hour or so. Wiley now faces a second-degree murder charge, which will move through court. Paige's case made changes here inside TPD headquarters, where officers since dropped the use of the term runaway in missing person flyers. Wiley's arrest came together quickly after police searched a rural area of Thomas County, Georgia, called the Plantation again. Within just 4 days of that secondary search, Paige's remains were confirmed by the crime lab.
I told you 2 years ago we would never give up. I told you 2 years ago we would find Lorie and we would bring her home. I told you 2 years ago that we would find who did this and we would arrest them and bring them to justice. And today I stand before you to tell you we have done just that.
Wiley's arrest was announced at a hastily scheduled press conference this afternoon. We will keep you updated, of course, as the case works its way through the court process.
Thank you for joining us here at 6 o'clock tonight. I'm Jacob Murphy. Julia's off this evening. Tonight, an investigation underway after a man accused of killing his daughter dies while in the Leon County Jail. Andrew Wiley died after a medical emergency last night, according to LCSO. Just 2 months ago, the sheriff's office announced his arrest, sharing the shocking news they had discovered the remains of his daughter, Lori Paige, in South Georgia. Paige had been presumed missing for almost 2 years, with billboards, signs, and search parties working to find her. Wiley was at the Leon County Jail, charged in Lori Paige's murder, awaiting trial when he died. Our Capital City correspondent Matt Hoffman joins us now from the jail. And Matt, you were there yesterday when you noticed something was off.
Yeah, that's right, Jake. We were here for an unrelated story when we saw literally just past those gates multiple fire trucks. That was a bit unusual, but there are some 1,000 detainees at any given time. When we asked, though, we learned of a surprising end to a long-running case. Police say Andrew Wiley killed his daughter, Lori Paige, and dumped her remains at a plantation in rural Georgia. He'll never face those allegations in court, though, after he died from a pulmonary embolism while at the Leon County Detention Facility, according to a preliminary autopsy report provided by the Leon County Sheriff's Office. Here's Margie Summers, a longtime paraprofessional and advocate for Lori Paige.
And there should be people crying in front of the media and begging for her return, and nothing's happening.
Authorities say Wiley's death was natural. His brother, Antoine Wiley, said he maintained his innocence until his death. Summers isn't buying it. For a long time, she didn't believe Paige's father was the one who killed her, but she does now.
I've tried to think of how else his ping could be in the exact place of her bones, and I have not been able to come up with one.
Summers said she met with Andrew Wiley on multiple occasions. While police say Paige was already dead, she didn't know that at the time, and she encouraged Andrew Wiley to speak out. Looking back, she believes his behavior was suspicious.
One of the times I met him was like months after she'd been missing, and I said, we're still looking, we're never going to give up. And he met us at one of the searches, and I was like, we're still looking. And I thought I was comforting him. He was probably thinking, lady, please stop. But I didn't think it was him.
Summers says justice has been served, but she also says Wiley's death leaves many unanswered questions.
Happened to Lori Paige? The question echoed across Tallahassee for nearly 2 years. We got an answer in April when police charged her father, Andrew Wiley, with killing her and dumping her body. Then the question became why. Tonight, we have an answer that's very tough to take. The state attorney says Wiley sexually assaulted 12-year-old Lorie. Our Matt Hoffman was the first to speak with Jack Campbell today after Wiley's death in jail last week. Matt?
Yeah, you said it, Jacob. The state attorney told us that Andrew Wiley's actions mean the motive for killing Lori Paige was likely sexual assault. The state attorney also revealed for the first time that Andrew Wiley was being treated for an STD. Criminal case against Andrew Wiley is now over after he died in jail on June 19th. State Attorney Jack Campbell said the investigation is also over unless new information comes to light. Right now, the evidence suggests Wiley acted alone.
Unfortunately, deal every year with sexual abuse, where people do impregnate children and even their own children. If he had gotten her pregnant, if he had given her a venereal disease, those would be hard things to explain.
Andrew Wiley's brother told us he planned to defend himself at trial.
My heart goes out to Lori's family and all affected by this tragedy. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you want updates as more in this case comes to light.